consecutive wins for our Raps, and oh baby, what a night of basketball it was for the Toronto Raptors as they lay a beat down on the Minnesota Timberwolves, 125-102. And with the W on home court, the Raptors now improved to 44-32 on the season. They've won 4 straight, with Chicago winning yesterday. I forgot who they played last night. No, Washington, without Beal, without Kuzma. It was a disaster. They win half the game up, so the Raptors with the win tonight get back to tied with the Chicago Bulls before they head out west for a gruesome West Coast swing to end their year. And Cleveland lost tonight to Dallas. So with the win, the Raptors have a 2-game lead over the Cavs for that number 6 seed in the East. So it's looking better for that play-in spot not being ours. But 1 game at a time, and the Raptors go out there, and after the first quarter, they dial it in, and they win it 125-102. Incredible stuff. From the end of that first quarter, the Raptors defense holds them to under 40% from the field. It was lights out defensively, and then the offense just started flowing and flowing. First quarter wasn't pretty, right? You weren't knocking down your shots. Pascal was missing some early. Boucher was missing a ton early, and they weren't missing. It was a 30-20 first quarter in favor of Minnesota, and it did not look good. And even early in the second quarter, it was like they had a 17-point lead at one point. I mean, it was not pretty. And the Raptors figured it out, ended the quarter extremely strong, and they end up taking a 2-point lead going into halftime with a Fred VanVleet buzzer beater 3 to end the half. And the Raptors score 42 in the quarter, allow 30, but like I mentioned, you were down by 17 at one point. They played lockdown defense the rest of the quarter. Somehow we're up to it the break. Now, you got to come out of the third quarter and throw that first punch. Well, I think the Raptors went on a 7-0 run to start the quarter. I mean, from then it was over, right? The momentum they had from that second quarter, it just continued the rest of the game. Defensively, just locked down tight, and offensively, you drop another 35 piece in that third quarter. You only allowed 22. You're plus 13 in the quarter. You're up 15 heading into the fourth quarter. I mean, it looks lights out. Now it's just closing time, and it was never in any doubt at all in the fourth quarter. In fact, the Raptors win the fourth quarter 28-20. And win this game by 23. At one point, the Raptors led by 27 after being down by 17 at one point. This team just does not quit. Key stories of the game, well, Pascal Siakam with the triple-double, his second career triple-double. The shot wasn't falling for him, but man, was he finding other guys, and they were making shots. Beautiful to witness. The Raptors shot an incredible percentage from three-point range. We'll get to that in a second. But let's break down these guys. We're going to start with the All-NBA talent. Pascal Siakam. 12 points in the game, so struggled there. 10 rebounds in the game. 13 dimes for Pascal in this one. 5 of 15 from the field. But again, it's funny. The guy takes 15 shots, only 2 threes. And he wasn't taking a whole lot of mid-range in the game, or at least in the latter half of the game he wasn't. The guy got to the free throw line 2 times. It's crazy how the man doesn't get the respect to go to the free throw line. But he was 5 of 15 from the field, was 2 of 2 from the line, was 0 of 2 from distance, had a steal and a block. He did have 6 turnovers in the game, but my God, he gives a triple-double with 13 dimes and a plus 27 on the floor. Those 6 turnovers, you just don't care about that. An incredible night for Pascal, and well-deserved yet again. OG Anunoby, man, this guy's shot is just crisp since coming back from his injury. 22 points, 5 boards, 3 dimes, 9 of 13 shooting. Didn't shoot a lot, but man, was he efficient, 9 of 13. 4 of 4 from distance, a plus 29 while he was on the floor. And you know the defense OG's going to give you. No matter who switches onto him, he's going to body him. And that's what he did all night long. OG Anunoby was just phenomenal yet again. Scotty Barnes, a very interesting one for him. Struggled in the early goings, didn't play very much in the first half. Second half comes along, and I think he only took a 1 shot. He was kind of, really nowhere to be found in that first little bit. And he comes out in the second half and finds himself again, right? Ends the game with 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists on 6 of 8 shooting, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, has steal and a block, was plus 6 on the floor in only 24 minutes of work. So If you watch the game and you saw how much of Scotty you saw in the second half, by the way, yeah, I cut myself cooking today, so that's why I got this guy going on. You know, if you saw how much he played in the second half, that's how little he played in that first half. And Nick Nurse ain't afraid to do that. Hey, you're not playing well, sit down for a bit. And especially with a guy like Scotty, you put him back out there to kind of get him to regroup, especially when you're feeling good there in that second half, right? You want to get him back out there. And you do, and he does a great job to finish the game. So a great job overall from Scotty going back in there and doing a job. 15, 5, and 4 for him in 24 minutes of work. So a good job from Scotty. Gary Trent Jr., the shot was falling tonight. It was one of those games where no matter what the difficulty was for Gary, he was going to find a way to finish it. 29 points in the game, 2 rebounds, no dimes, but that's just another day in the office for GT. 9 of 13 from the man had 29 points on 13 field goal attempts on 9 made shots. 9 made shots. He had 29 points in the game. Was 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 6 of 8 from distance, and a plus 10 on the floor. When Gary Trent Jr.'s 3 is falling, it just does so much for the offense because it spreads everything out, right? And he was phenomenal all night long. Great job for GT. Fred VanVleet, again, the shot was struggling early on, but he ended up with 12 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 of 15 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. However, 5 steals and a block for Freddie. You know, as much as the shot ain't falling, he's going to get everyone involved, 8 dimes in the game. And 5 steals and a block for Freddie, plus 20 while he was on the floor. I mean, look, the shot's not falling for him lately, but man, oh man. And clearly, because his knee is not 100%, and I wouldn't even say it's 80%. He's not feeling too hot. But he's going out there grinding and helping his team win. And you love that from Fred VanVleet. Just hopefully, you know, in the offseason, you get this thing back to 100%, right? As much as we're all Raptor fans, we want to see this team go far, I would much rather him have a season-ending surgery or whatever he needs to have to get him back to 100%, than have him push through it and have there be actual damage and things you can't repair, but, you know, going into his future seasons, right? So I think we can all agree on that. As much as it would hurt us this season, longevity-wise, you want Fred VanVleet. So that's just my take on that. Let's get to the bench unit and Precious Achiuwa. We talked about in the last video how the shot wasn't really falling for him in that game. Well, tonight, he got back to Precious Achiuwa things. The man took 7 threes. 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 7 from distance. You had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist on plus 20 from the field as well. He was on the court as well. Just Precious going out there and doing things, man. Just all over the court. And you love to see that it's energy off the bench, and it's stuff that we didn't see from anybody in that first half of the year when guys had to play 40 plus, maybe like 3 or 4 guys in 40 plus figures because you had to do it because, you know, you weren't getting anything anywhere else, right? And Thaddeus Young, he was great again. Again, in big games down the stretch of the season, this man is doing incredible things, including blowing by a guy and throwing the left-handed hammer down. Like, who the heck saw that one coming from Thad? You love to see it. An incredible teammate, an incredible person. If you listen to the interview that William Liu on the Raptors show in Sportsnet that he posted with Thad, just listen to him. I mean, an incredible human being, an incredible teammate, and he said on the show, like, hey, you know, I don't care if I have my stat line looks garbage. If our team wins and I do something to help my team win, I don't care. And you love that mentality, especially from a vet in Thaddeus Young. 10 points, 4 boards, 2 dimes in the game for Thad, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from distance, and had a steal in the game, plus 17 in 17 minutes. Just making a massive impact off the bench. Chris Boucher didn't write him down today because he royally struggled with his shot. He went 0 of 6 to start the game in 6 minutes. And I'm like, oh, God. Not what you want to start with. He did make some shots later on, so you got to give him credit for that. But not the greatest Chris Boucher night. And that's going to happen here and there. He's been phenomenal lately. An off night here and there. Get back onto the horse in the next one for Chris. He'll be just fine. Now, team stats. Look. They started the game really well. They were shooting 50%. They were dynamite. They were shooting the ball really well early. Obviously, they scored 60 in the first half, considering how dominant the Raptors were in the second half of the second quarter, right? They still scored 60. So it tells you how good they were shooting early on, and the Raptors got those percentages down to 40% from the field, 30% from 3, and 17 for 23 from the free throw line, which amounts to 74% from the line. So they were good from the line, but everywhere else, they just did not make shots. Raptors defense was all over them in those final 3 quarters, right? Raptors shot 50% from the field, 50% from three, 18 for 36. You know why? Because you're getting the looks. Pascal's getting in the paint, kicking it. Fred's getting in the paint, kicking it. Finding OG, finding Precious, finding GT, right? GTJ, right? Finding these guys, and they're drilling it, right? Like we talked about it. Trent was 6 of 8 from three. Precious was 3 of 7 from three. OG was 4 of 4 from three. Where Pascal and Fred combined for 21 assists. They moved the ball so damn well in this game, and you had so many other guys making shots. And also the Raptors were 73% from the line, 11 of 15 from the line. So they had 8 more free throw attempts than the Raptors. They had, 6 more makes, yet they lost by 23. That's how dominant this team was, more or less in the second half. It's remarkable stuff. And the fact that Pascal still only had 2 free throws is still beyond me. It's -7 on the glass, though, on the offensive glass. I believe they were like -6 on the actual glass as well. So struggled there now in back-to-back contests. But again, it's just doing so many other things, right? 32 assists in the game. As I mentioned, Pascal and Fred combined for 21. There's 11 more assists the rest of the way. So that's how dominant those guys were. Now, again, uncharacteristic of the Toronto Raptors, 17 turnovers, way too many. However, the Timberwolves turned the ball over 22 times. That is insane. The Raptors were unbelievable defensively, more or less in the second half, right? Where else we got here? +10 in the fast break, +7 in points off of those turnovers. So we were +5 in the points of the turnovers category, and points off of those turnovers +7. This team closed the game strong. They got everything. They did exactly what they needed to do. Standing wise, you got help from the Dallas Mavericks. You're exactly where you want to be if you're the Toronto Raptors. You're now 12 games over 500 at 44-32. You've won 4 straight games. You're 8-2 in your last 10. You're tied with Chicago for the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. I mean, this is just incredible that we're seeing. I believe 7 games remain for the Toronto Raptors. And the next one, we got to have a real talk here. The next one, and I believe it's the final road game. There might be one more. But you play the Orlando Magic. Last time we played Orlando was that back-to-back against Detroit, where we lost both. Now, this Raptor team looks a lot different than the team that played those 2 games against Detroit and Orlando. But you got to go out there and do a job like you did against the Indiana Pacers. Go out there, put in the work, get the W. On Friday, 7 p.m. in Orlando, right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the game this evening, smack the like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already. Comment down below thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. What'd you like? What'd you not like from today's game day for the Toronto Raptors? The Twitter link is down below, so follow up, send me a DM. Do all that great stuff. The Instagram link is also down there, so follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Jay's Edition, very shortly, as we'll be wrapping up this past week's games, especially after tonight's 11-3 win over the Yankees. We'll talk about that very shortly. As for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're back in action tomorrow at home against the Winnipeg Jets. 7 o'clock puck drop there. Andre Kasha hits the long LTIR. So lots of injuries for the Leafs. We'll have to see who's in the lineup tomorrow for the Buds as they take on the Jets on home ice. All right, and that's the Toronto Raptors. They take on the Orlando Magic in Orlando Friday night, 7 p.m. tip-off there as the Raps look for their 5th consecutive victory, and maybe with some standings help, maybe jump the Chicago Bulls for the 5th seed. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out, though. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the game tonight. We'll talk to you guys then.